Manchester United will take some stopping in this season's Europa League. Somehow Ruben Amorim's side have managed to put their worst domestic campaign in living memory to one side to be unbeaten and top scorers in the competition this season. And after a commanding 3-0 win over Athletic Bilbao in the semi-final first leg last week, it would take a brand new miracle of Manchester to put them out tonight. It's unthinkable. United have never lost a home European game by 3 or more goals. The game live here on Talksport from 8 p.m. on Talksport 2. Spurs travel to Norway to take on Bodo Glimt in the other Europa League semi-final second leg. Former England striker Dean Ashton and Alex Crook, your commentators for that one. And the road to the richest game in football starts tonight. You can listen to it on the new and improved Talksport app. Bristol City hosting Sheffield United in the Championship playoff semi-final first leg. Former Sheffield United forward Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and Ian Danter on commentary duty for that one at Ashton Gate. Talksport really is your home of football. Well, this game tonight brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. I am Hugh Wizencroft. The stadium here at Old Trafford really beginning to fill up. The Athletic Bilbao fans that have made their way here, making a fantastic noise, and fans now getting to their feet, expecting the players to make their way out of the tunnel. Alongside me, former England World Cup defender Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot. Stuart, Ruben Amorim warning in the pre-match press conference. He has seen this Manchester United side concede goals in bursts on at least 4 occasions here at home as well. 4 in 40 minutes against Lyon in the last round. How and why does that happen? From your playing days, from your coaching days, when a team seems to concede goal after goal after goal in quick succession, where does that come from?
A rocky confidence within the group, a lack of leadership within the group. What do we do at certain times within certain games? All play a big part in it. And somewhere down the line as well, you've got to look at the manager and say maybe tactically he's got to make sure that his team are acutely aware of, look, if this happens in certain games, there might be a change of formation to shore things up slightly.
I was going to ask you if you've ever played in a defence, but
many defences I've played
that leads goals, exactly, and I got the feeling the answer was going to be no.
If you play long enough, you do have rocky periods within games, but you've sort of almost got to see that out. And I think the modern day game, Hugh, I've got to say, is much more open now than it ever was before. European football, I rarely see a 0-0 draw. I mean, in our wildest dreams, you don't think this is going to be 0-0 or Tottenham's going to be 0-0 for a start tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Ruben Amorim says his side needs to score at least 1 goal tonight. You wouldn't call them a patient side, Manchester United, that really controls most of the games that they play. So is this about using home advantage maybe tonight, coming straight out the gate, listening to that noise and getting themselves in front?
Well, I think there's twofold here. During the warm-up, I watched United in a sort of 25 by 25 grid defending in a 5, which is quite unusual. It was almost a possession-based thing, but they were emphasising that 5-man backline. So he'll want to make sure that they're concentrated on that. But if you're sending a message out, we've got to get on the front foot. It's almost like a mixed message, really, you know?
Absolutely, it is. Jim, I've got to ask you about what you've seen from Manchester United so far in this competition. It seems crazy to think they're unbeaten and they're top scorers in this competition. Why has it been so different to domestic competition?
I think part of it has been the fact that for a long time that they've known that they're going nowhere in the league. They had that bad run and they had just too much to do to be able to do anything about it. So all their eggs probably mentally have been in this basket for a long time as well. Also, the standard of opposition in this tournament isn't as high as they play week in, week out in the Premier League.
Well, there's another tifo going up, just like the last European game here inside Old Trafford. They're trying something new. This is just the second tifo in the history of Manchester United at Old Trafford. It says, "Take me home, United Road." There is a huge Europa, I keep calling it the UEFA Cup, but there's a huge Europa League trophy there and images of United's players celebrating that late goal, I think from Harry Maguire, that put Lyon out in the last round. United truly trying to make Old Trafford a cauldron once again, but we know what's going to do that. it's winning big games, it's winning trophies. They need to become the great side they once were. I hope for all of these fans it happens under Ruben Amorim. Stuart, if Spurs or Manchester United do win this competition, do lift the trophy, just to go back to what Jim was saying about the level of quality in the competition, what does it say about the Europa League?
I tell you what it says. The Europa League, and I took you through my experience being at West Ham when we done that. The Europa League playing on a Thursday night is relentless for teams, and it takes its toll in the league. Now, both Spurs and Manchester United have done very underwhelming, let's say, in the league campaign. But I understand why. When you're away from home on a Thursday night, you've got Sunday matches, it is very, very difficult to sustain a good league campaign. Either one of these teams will be desperate to get their hands on silverware and say, you know what, in a desperately poor season league-wise, we've got silverware.
We've got fireworks shooting off into the blue skies above us here at Old Trafford. Scenes reminiscent of a Super League Grand Final, I think. No silverware at stake tonight, but you get the image in your mind. Red sulphur smoke now pouring over the stadium. I've got to ask you both about Arsene Wenger's comments. The competition shouldn't necessarily guarantee direct Champions League qualification. He says especially when there are 5 teams already going into the Champions League out of the English top flight. What do you think of it, Jim?
I completely disagree with him. Completely disagree with him. That's irrelevant. Those 5 places have been earned by the performances of English clubs in Europe. So I think it's an utter irrelevance.
Do we need 6 teams from England?
Well, if 6 teams from England earn the right, then yes, we need 6 teams from England. If 6 teams from Spain earn the right, then yes, the Spanish should have 6 teams in the Champions League.
Do you not think of that one nation whose champions go into qualifiers, the winners of that league, and our 6th place team goes straight in? Or a Europa League side gives us a winner, gives us a 6th team. Is that fair on those nations?
I understand where you're coming from, but listen, it's a 36-team group, and from a long way out, we knew 6 or 8 of the teams from the 12 that weren't going to qualify for at least the playoff round. I would imagine that will be the same again. And the one thing I would say is that, okay, you may well have an English winner of this competition that will come from a side that has finished in the bottom 8 of the Premier League. I don't think they'll be finishing in the bottom 8 of the Champions League extended group next year. I think that they will almost certainly, whoever it was, Spurs or Manchester United, if they are the 2 finalists, will get through to the top 24. And so I think that they've already earned their place by winning the Europa League, and I think that they would show that they'll be able to hold their own much more than some of the other clubs who qualify. So I don't agree, fundamentally disagree with what he said.
Stuart?
I'm pleased that there is a place. It sharpens the focus of the teams that are in the Europa League. It makes them put out stronger sides and take this competition seriously, not just with a bit of silverware at the end of it, but a Champions League place as well, and the financial riches that come with it. I think it's a good thing, and I've got to say I disagree with Arsenal.
Okay, all right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Atmosphere once again on a European night at Old Trafford, absolutely electric. So much smoke has come from the fireworks, we can't see the opposite side of the ground. Hopefully Jim Proudfoot has brought his magnifying glass and binoculars with him. The same for Stuart Pearce as well. We are praying for an all-English Europa League final. I'm not sure entertainment would necessarily be guaranteed, but it would mean a 6th Champions League spot for England next season. Manchester United looks set for a place in the showpiece event, unless Athletic Bilbao can do what no side has ever done at Old Trafford in European football. It's live here on Talksport. Spurs deep inside the Arctic Circle. They hope not to be frozen out against Bodo Glimt. That's live on Talksport too. And get the Talksport app for Sheffield United and Bristol City doing battle in the Championship playoffs. Will the season to forget end up with a final to remember for Manchester United? Your commentary team is England World Cup defender Stuart Pearce and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Hugh, and a very good evening to you. Last decade seen a myriad of European semi-finals laced with jeopardy, games that are thrillingly poised with the intrigue hanging in the air until until the final whistle. Very few of the United fans here tonight will be disappointed that this tie isn't one of them, at least not on the face of it. Last week's 3-0 win at the San Mamés has put United in such a commanding position that even the more conservative of United's travelling fans will have dared to book non-refundable hotels back in Bilbao for a fortnight's time, because this is a done deal, right? Well, it certainly should be. Even within the confines of this unique United season, it will be a spectacular collapse. Athletic without their three best attacking players, including their top scorer and their defensive linchpin, and a top four finish has swiftly become their top priority. Amorim's men still have a job to do. They've got a whacking big safety net under them. Going shot shy, Athletic need at least 3 goals. United have conceded 4 in 3 of their last 6 games. Well, the smoke is slowly clearing. Athletic in their changed kit tonight. It's like stars in their eyes, Stuart Pearce. They've come out. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Chelsea. Athletic playing in the royal blue, and they're kicking from right to left in this first half. Run through the two teams for you in a moment. In the context of this season, last week's win in Bilbao was a remarkable result. United rolling back the years, their place in the Europa League final all but assured. All but in any other season there'd be no jeopardy at all. They've never lost the European tie here at Old Trafford by a big enough margin to take this to extra time, but every United fan is still going to be mightily relieved to get this one over the line.
Yeah, they certainly will, Jim. As I say, the mist from the fireworks is just lifting, and that's very fortunate for me because, as you well know, I lost my glasses on the dance floor of Manchester Apollo last night.
Yeah, I'm Jim, by the way. Nice to see you. The ball is on the left-hand side with Athletic Bilbao, who you would imagine will try and get as much possession in the early stages of this game as they can. Give themselves half a chance of being able to get themselves back into the game, and you just wonder what the psychological effect of a relatively early Athletic goal would be. United in possession at the back with Mr. Mazraoui, who would just work it forward here towards Garnacho. Garnacho to Casemiro, bit of space for Bruno Fernandes, who scored a couple of goals in that first leg, and 4 from him to Patrick Dorgu on the United left. Back for Bruno again, the feet of Ugarte and straight back. Bruno right in the first challenge that comes his way from the winger Jallo. Came off the bench last week. He's replacing Nico Williams tonight. Both Nico and his older brother Iñaki haven't travelled. He's staying in Spain because of injury. That's a massive boost as far as United are concerned, who win a free kick here over on the far touchline. With a minute or so in, it's still 0-0. 3-0 to Manchester United on aggregate here on Talksport.
Yeah, I think normally when you're the home team, you've got to keep the crowd buzzing, you've got to get on the front foot. I think tonight is a slightly different affair because of the scoreline for United. It's a case of keep possession of the ball, keep moving it, and kill the momentum of Bilbao.
Victor Lindelof able to play the ball forward down the right-hand side. Højlund, tall, blonde-haired striker, chasing after it, and it was manhandled by Yere Alvarez. And a free kick is given Manchester United's way. We've got a choice of listening for you tonight on the Talksport network. 3 huge games, and all covered right here. You've got the Talksport app, then open it, have a look at that little tab at the bottom right-hand corner that says live matches, and that will signpost you where you need to go for all 3 games. I'll remind you of the menu in a moment. United have taken the free kick quickly. Fernandes playing it forward towards Garnacho, getting it back, working it inside the penalty area. Maguire then in with a strong challenge that was a little bit too strong for the referees, like as a foul on Gorosabel. And it's a free kick that Athletic will take. Here on Talksport, 0-0 between Manchester United and Athletic of Bilbao. Over on Talksport 2, Spurs with a 3-1 lead in the Arctic Circle away to Bernard Glimt. And at Ashton Gate, Bristol City against Sheffield United in the first of the Championship playoff semi-finals. Now we've got every playoff leg for you on the Talksport network. That game tonight is on the Talksport app, exclusively on the Talksport app. So as I say, download the app, go to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it says live matches, and you'll easily be able to flip left and right and keep abreast of everything that is going on in all of those games. 0-0 everywhere so far. We're keeping an eye on Chelsea as well, at home to Gordon, and they will play the winners of Fiorentina against Real Betis, which is also 0-0 in the early stages. The Spaniards 2-1 up from the first leg. Here, Athletic with so much work to do, and in possession at the back. It's work for Aragifa, a young man in the midfield. Flicked out towards the right-hand side with a ball that didn't have the legs to get to Jallo, and Dorgu was in very strongly to be able to fire that one away, and out of play for an Athletic throw.
Yeah, just looking at the last free kick that was tossed in the box from Fernandez and Maguire up. It's interesting to see his journey. You know, he was pantomime villain for a long time, and that equaliser, or that winner, should I say, a couple of weeks ago certainly changed his fortunes, and is a great example for mental strength, I think.
He's had some big moments in this competition. A stoppage time equaliser at Porto, but our winner in the first minute of added time at the end of extra time against Lyon is a moment that any United fan who was here will never forget. Immortalised in the Tifo tonight. Athletic in possession inside their own half again. They haven't scored, incidentally, in their last 371 minutes away from home. So that's almost 6¼ hours on their travels without a goal. They need 3 unanswered goals tonight to even take this to extra time. They have failed to score in 5 of their last 7 away games. They've just lost out in the midfield again. Hoyland and Bruno Fernandes involved, and the free kick is given by Daniel Siebert to Manchester United, which they will take about 6 yards inside Athletic territory, and already very noticeable that there's absolutely no discernible hurry for any United restart. Mazraoui is making the 300th appearance of his club career tonight. We're back from him to Garnacho, to Lindelof, to Maguire, and back for the Swede again. And he's driven it forward. It's hit Berenguer, and ricochets back towards his own corner flag. Lindelof then plays it back towards Onana with a pass that forced Onana to scurry and clear first time, and in doing so his right-footed ball has gone over the touchline and out of play for an Athletic throw. Ruben Amorim just not happy with a little bit of sloppiness there from Victor Lindelof. 6.5 minutes in at 0-0.
Yeah, they've had a couple of issues early on. I mean, they've been pretty consistent in what they've tried to achieve, United, in these early minutes, apart from probably 2 incidents. Euro and Lindelof just getting caught out with the ball at the back, taking too long on the ball, and you don't want to give the opposition any encouragement.
There's Patrick Dorgu in possession, finding Yoro, who will go back for Onana behind him. Onana, whose clean sheet in Bilbao was only his 4th in his last 28 games. Garnacho's got it now. He finds Mazraoui, the white boots of Lindelof, a former teammate of Amorim in the latter's playing days. Now Yoro. Casemiro scored his first ever Europa League goal in that first leg. Yoro back for his goalkeeper. Onana's ball out is really poor. He's just chipped it up towards the edge of the penalty area, and they'll try and get the fullback Gorosabel in behind Dorgu, who can clear for throw.
Yeah, there's United are passing the ball around the back, but you can see underlying their passing that there's an air of non-confidence about it in the way they're doing it, you know, and emulated in Onana slicing one up in the air for a throw-in.
Gorosabel launching a long throw inside the penalty area. I say a long throw, that was his intention, didn't really become a long throw. It's cleared. Ball chipped in towards the left-hand side of the penalty area where Gomez is going to get the better of his man. He's pulled it back. It's Berenguer, and he should have scored. He's put it high past the top right-hand corner. But 8 minutes in, a let-off for Manchester United.
Yeah, once again, Jim, it's not been Bilbao that have actually initiated the problems for United. United have initiated their own problems, and once again, Mazraoui's just, instead of just helping the ball out for a corner or whatever, he's trying to keep it alive and give it to the opposition.
it already feels like one of those games for Manchester United that's almost a no-win game, because they know that they haven't quite got 2 feet in the final, but certainly 23 inches. They reckon that the job is all but done. The only thing that could happen is a spectacular collapse, and it almost is in danger of becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy at times. There's Mazraoui on the right-hand side of the Athletic box, and he stumbled and then got back to his feet, trying to get the better of Gomez, and ends up winning a throw.
Yeah, you get the impression that United should be feeding off the confidence of being 3-0 up, Jim. But they've not taken that confidence of the previous result into this game. They've almost got to prove to themselves by scoring the first goal that they are the dominant force in this tie.
It's as if there's a little bit of scar tissue here at Old Trafford from some of the games and performances that they've had here this season. From this throw, Højlund plays it back behind Casemiro, and Marouane Samadi can bring the ball forward. Tall striker who began this season playing on loan in the 3rd division in Spain, and has found himself leading the line now in a European semi-final. Back for the goalkeeper, Aguirre Zabala. His clearance brought down by Lenny Yoro. Feeds Dorgu to his left. Back then to Maguire in his yellow boots. Victor Lindelof down towards Mazraoui. Ball swiftly worked from left to right for Manchester United. Lindelof's got it again, and that's another poor touch right through his 6-yard box. There's never any danger it's going to fall to a man in blue, but such a poor pass. United get it clear. Højlund can't get it to stick, and Gomez all of a sudden has it back within 10 yards of the edge of the United box again. Really poor start this from Amorim's man. Cross comes in from Gorosabal. It's blocked by Dorgu, who wins the throw.
Yeah, as I say, they're fueling their own insecurity almost, United. And the ball up to Højlund there, he can't retain it. The passes behind people, wrong weight on passes, and all they've got to do is keep possession of the ball and make a sensible pass just to nullify Bilbao.
Elio Candido was just out having a few words with Ruben Amorim, who turned away as if to say, yep, I know, I can see it, not happy. Let it have it again. Berenguer caught, and it's a free kick 5 yards in from the right-hand touchline for Athletic, about 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area. If they were to score in the next few minutes, Athletic, you just wonder whether the whole dynamic of this time might change, because the United players, I would worry, would go into their shells a little bit.
Well, they're almost playing like a side that are semi in their shell at the moment, Jim, to be honest with you. Some of the basic errors that we've seen, the overhit passes, the wrong options on passes as well, putting a teammate in the odd problem instead of the sensible play that you would hope.
Berenguer, who's a winger, he played at 10 last week and is started off in that central role again. Stands over this free kick, works it in, and Arna comes out. It's an emphatic punch clear, loops outside the penalty area. Gomez tries to head it back to Berenguer and got that wrong. Ball forward for Marouane, finds his man, left-hand side of the penalty area. Back from him to Haragitha. His ball inside the box is cleared. And then United can get their foot on it, and Agate will chip it over the top. And out comes the Athletic goalkeeper sweeping up 25 yards outside his penalty area. Aguirre Zabala there, just ahead of Garnacho to be able to clear. Garnacho made a really good run from inside his own half. Athletic gambling, keeping a really high line. They didn't have any outfield player back inside their own half there, but it was really good sweeper keeping.
Yeah, it certainly was. As I say, he was sharp, he was off his line, aggressive position. Unfortunately for him, he got there first.
Lenny Yoro chipping it over the top. Now this time it's Højlund that makes the run. And Unai Nunez has gone with him and ends up winning the throw. Unai Nunez, one of the 4 players starting tonight who didn't start that first leg. He spent the last couple of seasons on loan at Celta Vigo. He's a Spanish international with more than 120 Athletic games behind him, but very few of those have come this season, only a dozen or so. He gets the nod tonight because Danny Vivian who played for Spain in the Euros, is out through suspension after that red card that he picked up last week for the foul on Højlund. Throw taken by Athletic, who've been much the superior team in the early stages. 14 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Athletic 0. We'll be going around the grounds in a few moments' time, find out what's been going on in the early stages of the other games. Suffice to say, at the moment, it's 0-0 everywhere in all 5 games that are taking place domestically and across the continent tonight. Anana has got it inside the 6-yard box, finding Lindelof. Lindelof down towards Mazraoui. Mazraoui for Lindelof again, who's just chipped it straight out of play, and Manchester United need to lift themselves from this lethargy.
He's literally, that is the second time Lindelof's had a ball roll back to him in the sort of right back position and just clipped it out of play.
Now a foul on Harry Maguire, and a free kick that Manchester United want to take quickly. Bruno Fernandes stopped from doing that by Haragitha, and he's going to be called over by the referee. So let's check in with events from Norway. Burnett against Tottenham. Jeff Peters.
No goals in the opening 13 minutes, but the home side with the best opportunity. Deep corner, Blomberg unmarked, but he slashed it into the side netting. It's 0-0. Spurs lead 3-1 on aggregate.
And the Championship playoff semi-final, Ashton Gate. Lawrence Moura.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0. The visitors have had the ball in the net, but Tyrese Campbell was offside from his header. Moments later, Bristol City's Joe Williams, marauding forward, 25 yards out, rattled the bar with a stinging drive. This game live on the Talksport app. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0.
A really good Manchester United move comes to nothing because of an offside flag. Fernandes slipping the ball forward. Garnacho making a run. He got in behind the back line, but the flag was up against him anyway, and the goalkeeper has had a good start of the game. Aguirre Zabala making a good save. 2 big banners have been just raised in front of the director's box to our left-hand side, one of which said, "Sir Jim, we wish you showed as much interest in fan loyalty as you do to the debt. 54 years I have been here, not 5 minutes. Thanks for nothing." Black writing on a big pink bit of paper. Here's Dorgan making his way forward, finding Højlund, can't turn inside his man, can set up Fernandes, who rifles one towards goal, and it's blocked by Unai Nunez. And Athletic will be able to bring it clear. Berenguer with a lovely turn in the midfield, buys himself a yard of space away from Bruno Fernandes. Played out to the left-hand side for Gomez. Gomez coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. 0-0 here with 17 gone. Ball down to the left, clipped inside the penalty area from Yuri, and that one's easily clear. Now Fernandes, slip to the left for Patrick Dorgu. Dorgu's ball forward to Garnacho, and Lenny Yoro's going to be able to mop up at the back. Let's find out what's going on at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea in complete command of their tie against Hugh Gordon. Here's Ian Abrahams.
17 gone, Chelsea 0, Hugh Gordon 0. Chelsea, I've got to say, have got most of the control of the game. Sancho on the left-hand side in particular looks very dangerous. The away side not so. 0-0 here. Chelsea lead 4-1 on aggregate.
So 3-goal aggregate lead for Chelsea. 3-goal aggregate lead for Manchester United. But for how long? Højlund knocking him down. Garnacho. Gomez was in there. He's had a good start of the game. The number 20, he's just been caught there by Casemiro. Play goes on. Marouane trying to set up a teammate on the edge of the penalty area. It's played back out towards the right-hand side. Garasar ball with a low ball in that was well fielded by Dorgu. Yoro, I beg your pardon, just stuck out a left boot. It very nearly fell behind him, that cross. It was clear. And it comes back down towards the Bilbao left-hand side again for Gomez. Back from him to Yuri Alvarez. Bilbao fans away to our right, liking what they're seeing so far. It's a sea of red and white. So many red and white striped shirts visible here in the city of Manchester today. They've been in good spirits, travelling in their numbers despite the overall situation in the tie, and they're in fine voice, and they'll be enthused by the start of their side of May. Yuri coming forward towards the edge of the United penalty area. Marouane almost there, but to set up Gomez. United having enough bodies back to be able to deal with the threat, and Garnacho will try and bring it away. This is unsustainable, though, for United playing this way, Stu.
It certainly is. So many basic mistakes. The last one was Harry Maguire looking for a crossfield pass that sailed out of play again. And it's the unforced errors that are really, really hurting them. And Hugh spoke earlier about, you know, the potential of Bruno Fernandes leaving this football club. He's probably the only one that you look at on this football pitch that's doing the right and proper things, putting a shift in for his team at the moment. And his absence, the effect that would have on the dressing room and the crowd if he did leave this football club.
2 goals short of 100 in Manchester United colours at the moment. But a simple ball to play him in there has gone past him. And you can tell by Amorim's body language, pacing up and down and then jumping up and down occasionally on the edge of the technical area. He is really, really tense. He's hating what he's seeing so far. Saudi got through the opening 20 minutes without having their defence breached. It's a close run thing with a Berenguer effort that had Onana beaten that just went over the top right-hand corner. Yaray Alvarez for Athletic, they're able to bring the ball forward. And to Gorosabel to his right-hand side. The fullback working it into the edge of the area. Harry Maguire is able to clear that. You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that is just right for you. 0-0 and 3-0 on aggregate to United. But Athletic much the better side tonight. United were in complete control of the first leg. They've got no semblance of control in this second so far. Dorgu can bring the ball forward and he's given it away to Gorosabel. Played forward to Berenguer. Berenguer coming over the halfway line. 4 against 4 for a moment here. As Athletic bring it forward. He's just stepped away from Casemiro. Left-footed shot. Onana probably would have had it covered had it crept inside the bottom left-hand corner.
Well, once again, it was Dorgu there. Strode forward into the opposition's half, give the ball away, and from that moment on, that was all the encouragement that Bilbao needed to surge forward, and they've got the ability to sort of they've not managed to hit the target yet, Jim, but my goodness, they've had a few moments where it's been heart in mouth for this crowd here.
Onana taking his time about restarting with a goal kick. United, as I mentioned, and you're all too well aware, they have conceded 4 goals in 3 of the last 6 games in all competitions. They've had 3 3-goal home defeats this season. Liverpool and Spurs and Bournemouth have all won here. 3-0. Dorgu making his way forward, goes to the ground inside the penalty area. Referee says no penalty. And he's now waving the young Dane back to his feet. So the VAR will be checking the incident. Dorgu going to ground. It's Christian Dingert who's on VAR duty tonight. And Athletic haven't been given permission to restart play as yet, which suggests it's maybe a little bit more of a lengthy inspection than we anticipated it being. Just having another look at it here on our monitors, Stuart, as the ball is played forward, and Dorgu managed to get goal side of Gorosabel. Anything in that for you?
For me, no. I've got to say, fantastic ball once again. Fernandes inside the fullback, and Dorgu's burst in there. And for me, well, I wouldn't be given a penalty here personally.
I certainly wouldn't say that it's a clear and obvious on-field error.
No, it definitely isn't that. I think he just overbalanced as he thought there was going to be contact coming in. And
well, United were given what turned out to be a controversial penalty in the first leg. They're not getting one in the early stages of this second leg because the check is complete and play restarts with a drop ball to Athletic on the edge of their own box. So I think that's probably the right decision. 23 gone. Here's Yuri back in field for Ruiz de Galarreta, and he finds his goalkeeper Aguirre Zavala, who's ball towards halfway. He's won well by Mazraoui. Marouane ends up on the deck holding his face. Play goes on. Berenguer out of the right hand side. Gorosabel coming forward for Athletic. Jallo ahead of him. Just gets a kind little touch off Dorgu. Then the ball's worked inside the penalty area and is clear. Not cleared very far. Unai Nunez forward from centre half. Now Yuri chipping it out towards the far touchline for Gorosabel, who's the defender who had his heart in his mouth when that VAR check was going on. High ball in from Yuri Alvarez. Around the target at the far post. They're not getting too many bodies forward in support of him. Gomez gets it in here, and that almost inexplicably got past Casemiro and is cleared. Then a slice clearance at the other end, and Hoyler will try and take it on, but he's used his hand to try and flick it past Unai Nunez, and it's a free kick to Athletic Bilbao. 24 gone. It's 0-0, and the referee is going to bring play back and show a yellow card to Mazraoui, who caught Marouane Samadi on halfway with a flailing arm. So Mazraoui is booked.
It's little situations like the one I'm going to describe to you. Ball comes to the edge of the box, United are defending. Hoyland doesn't sustain the ball, someone comes past him and takes the ball off him, and then he's got the opportunity bursting into the opposition's half to really cause a problem, and people tell me what blistering pace he's got, Jim, and I don't see enough of it. I really don't. He needs some more devilment about his play. It really does.
Now this game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football, and it hasn't been the cakewalk that many Manchester United fans might have anticipated, or probably more accurately many neutrals might have anticipated. I think United fans, having sat through and endured the 24-25 campaign, many of them telling me earlier that they didn't see this as a formality. Yeah, they were expecting to qualify, they weren't taking anything for granted. Yuri playing the ball forward through the midfield. Hoyland has done well to win it back on that occasion from Ruiz de Galarreta. United lose it again just as quickly. Yuri Alvarez scooping it forward. Senior partner at the back tonight, Berenguer. Down towards the left-hand touchline, and he's been fouled. Casemiro hasn't been able to get the pace of the game at all so far, and he's the player that has given this free kick away, which will be taken a yard in from the left-hand touchline by Berenguer. 26 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Athletic 0. It's already nervous, but as we've been saying since about the 5-minute mark, the game's got a feeling of being one of those nights where if Athletic were to score first, particularly if they were to do so in the first half, it would get dicey.
You also get the impression, Jim, that this game could stay 0-0 well into the second half, and there still be a nervousness around this place.
Berenguer to take this free kick. Swept into a dangerous area, and Anana came out and claimed it. Yuri Alvarez was trying to make a run across the face of him, but the ball was just a little bit too high for him. And Anana bowls it out, Mazraoui poking it forward. Casemiro, another really poor pass. Looking for Garnacho. Didn't find him. Yuri Alvarez. Amorim needs to get into the Manchester United players at half-time and remind them that this is not done yet. 27 minutes gone. Still 0-0. And still, there's a 3-goal aggregate lead, but it's a very, very different second leg to the first. United now with a free kick in their left-back position, and gives us an opportunity to check in with Tottenham Hotspur. Here's Talksport's Jeb Peters.
It's still 0-0. Spurs leading 3-1 on aggregate. Spurs have come really close to getting a goal. Pedro Porro's free kick, 20 yards out, tipped over by the goalkeeper. Spurs lead 3-1 on aggregate.
And that is live on Talksport 2. And live right now for you on the Talksport app. Bristol City against Sheffield United. Lawrence Moore.
City 0, Sheffield United 0, but here's a chance for Tyrese Campbell. Oh, it's saved by the legs of Max O'Leary, and that is a fantastic chance for Sheffield United, and it remains Bristol City 0, and it's just gone over the bar for a corner kick. Wow, Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0.
And if you've got the Talksport app, you can seamlessly swipe between all three of those games, which are live for you on the Talksport network tonight, as we give you an unrivaled choice of listening. More than 400 live games for you on the Talksport network so far this season. And don't forget the Women's European Championships coming up for you live from Switzerland over the course of this summer. And the live football not contained merely to football. The live sport continues with the rugby. And the squad announcement made today of the British and Irish Lions on Paul and Charlie's show this afternoon. And those tests of British and Irish Lions against Australia will be live on Talksport. Free kick for Manchester United for a push in the back of Garnacho. And the loose ball just ricocheted towards the edge of the penalty area. Onana saw that and used that as the most opportune moment to just turn away and dry his hands on the towel, or dry his gloves on the towel that he's keeping in his goal mouth, and have a swig of water. And so just waited a few seconds for restarting play, which was the ultimate plan in the first place. United get it forward now towards Højlund. Now slipped forward by Casemiro. It's a much better ball. Dorgu. It's got Garnacho in the middle. He can't find him. Just trying to chip it in, and Yuri was there to head away. And the loose ball breaking Berenguer's way, who's a player that United haven't really been able to get to grips with so far. Ugarte comes across and makes the challenge. And Ernesto Valverde acts as the ball boy. And Mazraoui is going to take a throw. United sending substitutes out to warm up. Talking of Valverde, Stu, and part of his team talk would have been that he was in charge of a European semi-final where it finished 3-0 after the first leg, and that side lost. That was the famous Barcelona-Liverpool turnaround in the Champions League back in 2019. He was the Barca manager for that. Maguire's given it away here. Jallo, right-footed shot straight at Yoro. Now breaks on the edge of the area. It's a stunning goal. Hauragifa, 25 yards out. He's pinged it into the top right-hand corner. Let me tell you, with 30 minutes gone, this shock could be on. It's Manchester United 0, Athletic 1, and it is no more than they deserve. The aggregate lead reduced to 2.
United have fueled their insecurities for the first half hour or so in this game, and the only thing that was saving them was the inability to show a clinical finish from Bilbao, and they've certainly changed that. What an incredible strike. I'd like to see it again to see whether Onana could have actually saved this. It was a brilliant shot, curled round the defender, but he got two hands to it and just flapped it into the corner. Might be being a bit harsh potentially. Yeah, maybe just out of his reach, but we've got a game and a half on our hands now, Jim.
Hauragifa scoring only his third goal in senior football. It's some strike, irrespective of the context. But when you consider that it's a goal that has given them a platform on the way back into the game, makes it even better. Marouane foul. Well, they need a goal every half hour. And with 31 minutes gone, they've scored the first. And now it is really tense. Really tense. Yoro back for Maguire. Out to Dorgu. Casemiro poking it forward. Patrick Dorgu to Ugarte, to Casemiro. Garnacho coming into the midfield. Long crossfield ball. Peach of a pass from Bruno. Now towards Mazraoui. You would talk sport. United losing 1-0. Ball work by Mazraoui towards the edge of the area. Bruno chipping it over the top. Højlund wasn't sure where it had gone. Gorosabal knew exactly where it was, and he can clear. Forward towards Jallo, who's been pushed by Lenny Yoro, and it's a free kick to Athletic, 10 yards outside their box.
I'll tell you what, the little individual duels and contests, the little things, United are not competing enough for them. You know, balls are dropping between players and there's a look round to see who's going to deal with it. Well, the answer to the question is, it's you. You've got to deal with it. You've got to win your individual battles.
That goal, the first that they've scored in 6 hours 37 minutes away from home. They've got a little under an hour to score another 2 without reply to take this to extra time. Chelsea surely through, 0-0 on the night, 4-1 up on aggregate, and it looks like they're going to be playing Real Betis in the final in Wrocław in Poland, because Anthony has scored again for them. This is 9th of the season, 1 for United, 8 for Betis now. And they lead 1-0 tonight in Florence, and they're 3-1 up on aggregate. This is also 3-1 on aggregate. to Manchester United, but they're trailing tonight and very much second best. Berenguer chips one forward, and a little bit more care on the pass, and Marouane might have been in. He'd made a run between Maguire and Yoro, but the ball finds its way through towards Onana. 34 gone, and United are a goal down and really struggling.
Yeah, Berenguer is certainly the one that's getting on the ball, just in and around the sort of Casemiro's position, causing a big problem. And at this moment in time, it's all Bilbao.
Here's the goal scorer, Haragitha. Played forward by him to Jalot. Gorosabel. Ruiz de Galarreta. Now Yuri. And everybody apart from the Athletic goalkeeper is well inside Manchester United territory. United can't get out. The ball is chipped over the top. The run from Gomez. All the second balls being won by men in blue. Casemiro with a strong challenge on Haragitha. It was a fair one, and it goes out of play for a throw. Think back to when we were watching the teams warming up, Stu, and you pointed out to me that it was really strange, the pattern of play that Manchester United were doing, defending in a very small area, but with a back five and doing everything they could to stop clinical through balls being played between that back line. Well, it's good practice, because that's how the game is panned out. Here's Agade bringing it forward. Now Garnacho. Bruno taken off his toes by Dorgu, whose shot was blocked. Had he left it for Bruno, could have been a different story. Casemiro's then beaten in the air in the midfield. Mazraoui in strongly, has won that, and then Garnacho wins the throw. And there's a player down injured for Athletic. It was another really strong challenge involving Mazraoui, who's fired up for this. He's already in the book. Gomez is okay. He's just sitting up again, having been down on his back for a moment. And he's going to be able to continue. It wasn't a foul. It was a strong challenge, not a foul. Mazraoui's got to make sure that the red mist doesn't descend. 9 to go to half-time, and United are a goal adrift. Yeah,
in relation to United's play, they're at their worst when they've actually turned the ball over. Their inability to pass and keep possession for more than a few passes and get up the pitch is astounding, really, you know, and they're not competing as well. There's twofold, really. They've got to improve both of those elements of their game.
But apart from that, they're doing all right. Now the ball is cleared by Yuri Alvarez. Oh, Berenguer, it's bounced back off him. Garnacho read that. Bruno Fernandes chipping it over the top. There's a rare poor touch from him. Too heavy, and it goes through to the goalkeeper, Aguirre Zabala. Lets it run out of play. It's a goal kick. 37 gone. Manchester United 0, Athletic 1 here on Talksport.
Yeah, the demeanour of Amorim down there. He's pacing up and down, head slightly bowed, in real deep contemplation and fear, to be honest with you, because all his fears about how United might play, I think, are coming home to roost.
Fiorentina back in that Conference League semi-final at home to Betis. It's 1-1. Robin Gosens has equalised on the night. It's still 3-2 to Betis on aggregate. Let's find out what's going on at Stamford Bridge. Here's Talksport's Ian Abrahams.
Chelsea 0, your Gordon 0. It's still Chelsea leading 4-1 on aggregate. Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George have had shot saves, though, by the visiting goalkeeper. Chelsea 0, your Gordon 0. 4-1 to the Blues on aggregate.
Back to Norway in a moment, where it's still 0-0. Spurs still 3-1 up on aggregate. Manchester United 3-1 up on aggregate as well. Ball played forward. Dorgu helping it on. Højlund couldn't get there, and it's clear. Jalot, he's lost out to Ugarte. Back from Lenny Yoro. Casemiro chipping it forward, and Dorgu's offside as he tries to link up with his compatriot Højlund. That's a free kick which will be taken by Athletic 10 yards outside their own penalty area. Here's Yuri forward towards Marouane, who slips the ball back to him. That took Lindelof out of the picture. Yuri's ball forward, missing Unai Gomez. Harry Maguire is in a position to be able to mop that one up. He lays it back for Onana. Onana's clearance, well won in the midfield. Marouane able to flick it off after the initial touch of the goal scorer, Haragitha. Casemiro getting it forward, then getting it back from Garnacho. Shout from a United fan behind us to get it forward. Lindelof, Maguire, Maguire forward towards Ugarte. Deadlock broken on the night at Stamford Bridge. And here's Ian Abrahams.
Chelsea 1, your Gordon 0. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall from just inside the penalty area after a good run. No nerves here. More comfortable slippers of a smoking jacket. It's Chelsea 1, your Gordon 0 on the night. 5-1 on aggregate.
Haragitha, the goal scorer in the book for foul. And a free kick that'll be taken by Manchester United 12 yards inside their own half. So Chelsea leading on the night, Manchester United behind on the night, Spurs still dead level. How's that playoff semi-final going at Ashton Gate? Lawrence Mora.
Sheffield United 0, but Bristol City being forced into an early change here. Joe Williams, their combative midfielder, is having to leave the pitch after taking a knock to the ankle. George Erthy is coming on in his place. Nothing cagey about this game. It's a cracker. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0.
That is live on the Talksport app, the second leg of that live from Bramall Lane Monday night here on Talksport. Ball headed down by Hoyland. Ball under control by Mazraoui. He's laid it back for Casemiro. Awkward bounce for Bruno Fernandes. He did well to deal with it. He just shinned it back towards Lenny Yoro, which is the best he could do. Maguire now for Lindelof. Lindelof able to bring the ball forward down the Manchester United right, and he's been pulled back by Berenguer. It's a free kick, but there's an angry reaction on the Bilbao bench because they thought there was nothing in that at all. Free kick that'll be taken by Victor Lindelof. What's happening in Norway? Live on Talksport 2. Jeff Peters.
It's still 0-0 between Bodo Glimt and Tottenham, so Spurs have that 2-goal cushion, but the home side coming close. Patrick Berg, what an effort. Vicario clawed it over the crossbar. 0-0 on the night, Spurs 3-1 on aggregate.
Garnacho trying to take it down towards the byline. It's clear by Yuri. One back by Lindelof. Mazraoui controlling the ball. Ugarte able to stab it forward, then gets it back from Bruno. Ugarte towards the edge of the penalty area. Hoyland trying to take it on. Ugarte's gone down. I think the contact was outside the box anyway. Play goes on with Dorgu in a wide position on the Manchester United left. Bruno working it for. Dorgu's got it again. He's fallen over the defender Gorosabel. And Athletic cleared a halfway. Back from Maguire to Casemiro. Mazraoui's right-footed ball inside the penalty area is headed clear. There's still no quality from United going forward, but the concession of the goal does seem at least to have woken them up a little bit, Stuart.
Yeah, it certainly does. The one thing you do know about United, if they do get in on goal, they will be clinical. You know, they've got players who can score, but at this moment in time, it's Bilbao that are forcing the territory.
31 goals Manchester United have scored in Europe this season. Only 42 in the Premier League. Lindelof, Casemiro, Garnacho coming back inside his own half. United fans listening at home or in the car or at work, how are your nerves? I would imagine, judging by the expressions of your compadres here at Old Trafford, decidedly frayed. Dorgu, back for Casemiro. Bruno to Lindelof. Now down towards Mazraoui. Chipping it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Dorgu, who's covered a lot of ground, just tried to draw a centre-half out of position, but couldn't find the ball. And now he's out of position himself as Athletic try and break down there right. Jallo coming inside. And United will be able to slip it forward. Big chance for Garnacho! And he's put it wide. That was a really angry reaction from Hoyland to it. They're in danger of falling out amongst each other now, Manchester United. It was a great ball that was played through. Garnacho running onto it. Goalkeeper came out, forced him to play it early. He's blipped it wide of the left-hand post.
Yeah, great opportunity. As I say, United have looked on occasion to get in behind the Bilbao back line. They've got pace, good movement, good runs, but on that occasion he had a perfect opportunity to finish this game.
Hasn't scored here, Garnacho, since November. 16 games here at Old Trafford without a goal. Should have scored then. That really would have settled the nerves. As it is, the aggregate advantage is down to 2. Though Athletic haven't had a decent side of goal since they took the lead about 11-12 minutes ago. Here's the goalkeeper, Aguirre Zabala. Maguire heads away. Gorosabel back to the goalkeeper again, who drives it right-footed this time towards halfway. Aragifa going up for that. Berenguer beaten by Maguire. And it goes through for the goalkeeper again. You're listening to Manchester United against Athletic in the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning to clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Berenguer. Beautiful ball, driven out towards Jalot. He's taking on Dorgu. The ball has ricocheted off the Dane, high up in the air. And Fernandes and Dorgu between them can clear. Yadai Alvarez lent into by Højlund. But he was able to head the ball out towards the right-hand side for Gorosabel. Back he comes from the centre-half, Unai Nunez. Now down towards Yuri. Yuri's on halfway here for Athletic. Good movement ahead of him from Marouane. Needed a first-time ball and it didn't come. So work by Ruiz de Galarreta out towards the right-hand side instead. Berenguer is there again. He's fallen over Yoro. And that's a goal kick, which Onana will take. We've only got seconds left in this first half. We've had a couple of injuries and a VAR check. Probably a couple of minutes to be added, I would guess. And Amorim will be delighted to get them in at half-time if it's only 1-0 to Athletic.
He certainly will. As I say, real frustration. And I think United have added to their own semi-downfall, if you like, by giving the ball away, cheap possessions too often, and it's just encouraged the blue onset.
Onana restarting play with the goal kick. Fernandes with a high up and under. Garnacho's missed their best chance so far. Loses out here to Unai Nunez. The ball goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester United left. It's their 19th European semi-final. They've won less than half of the previous 18, although they've won 2 out of 3 in this competition. Beating Celta Vigo in 2017, en route to the title, and then Roma in 2021, on the way to a defeat to Unai Emery's Villarreal in the final. They lost to Sevilla in what was a one-off tie in that COVID season, 2020. Højlund playing the ball down, Garnacho losing out, play for Aragifa, and then coming onto it is Marouane on the edge of the penalty area, and he's got himself into a shooting position. No, not quite, but he can feed Gomez, who drives it through the 6-yard box. Marouane couldn't get there in time, and Arna saves it.
I've got to say, Marouane is causing big problems today. He's competitive in the air, he's chasing things, he's knitting things together for his team, and he is a real handful for the United back three.
Yeah, he's due a goal. Hasn't got one in 14 since he netted against Valladolid back in February. He's never scored in Europe, and 11 of his 12 this season have come in the third division in a loan spell, but he's looked the part. United in possession in the midfield, trying to calm things down. Ugarte back for Maguire. Dorgu making a run. Can't win the seconds. Yadai gets it back for his goalkeeper. Poor clearance from him, but Ruiz de Galarreta was able to head it on to at least take it out of harm's way. And now Lenny Yoro's got it, and that is half-time. Straight to Ashton Gate, where the ball is on the spot, Lawrence.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0. It is a penalty to Sheffield United. Burrows with his left foot is stepping up. It's a short run up, left-footed into the corner of the net. He wheels away in celebration. Sheffield United have the lead. Then Bristol City are also down to 10 men because Kiefer Moore was tripped by Rob Dickey. Rob Dickey was shown a red card, and Burrows had buried the penalty. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
So Harrison Burrows with a goal for Sheffield United. They lead at Bristol City 1-0. That's on the Talksport app. Half-time whistle's gone here at Old Trafford. Same scoreline. The home side losing by a goal to 0. 3-1 to Manchester United on aggregate. This is not done yet.
Well, it's always one step forward and 2 steps back for Manchester United. They're fragile, poor in possession, disconnected in attack, and weak in defence. They're everything a decent football team shouldn't be, and the idea that they could play in the Champions League next season seems utterly ridiculous on this showing. Despite a 2-goal aggregate lead, you just wouldn't put your house on Manchester United seeing this out to reach the Europa League final. Let's go to the half-time whistle at Stamford Bridge. Ian Abrahams.
whereas Chelsea won, your Gordon nil. The goal came 6 minutes before half-time. A lovely through ball for Keenan Dewsbury-Hall, who made a very good run inside the penalty area, just a shot which went in via the right-hand post. Chelsea had dominated to that point with chances. Dewsbury-Hall and Tyreek George have both gone close. Reggie Walsh on his full debut looks neat and tidy, and Chelsea with a goal are now 5-1 up on aggregate, and I think the fans around me are actually booking their hotels and tickets for the final right now. They certainly can do. Chelsea 1, your Gordon nil, 5-1 on aggregate at the break.
Should Spurs fans be booking their tickets to the Europa League final? Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Well, it's goalless on the night, 3-1 on aggregate to Spurs, and they won't mind that it's been far from a classic. Both goalkeepers have been called into action, but in truth had little else of note to do. Pedro Porro's 20-yard free kick was dipping under the bar, but was finger-tipped over, and then Vicario in the Spurs goal clawed one away from Patrick Berg on the half hour. They're the only 2 shots on target we've had. Half-time in Norway, Bodo Glimt 0, Tottenham 0, Spurs lead 3-1 on aggregate.
So Manchester United 1-0 down at home to Athletic Bilbao. 3-1 up on aggregate. Stuart Pearce, the former England World Cup defender, is alongside us. Stuart, are you surprised? Not just by the scoreline, but by the performance?
I am, yeah. United have not gone into this game with the cushion of a 3-goal lead and used it to their advantage. They've looked nervous, and the worst they've been is probably when they've had possession of the ball and give it away so cheaply. Unforced errors in this game have started the downfall, and I've got to say at the front of their team as well, there's 1 or 2 that are not prepared to do the hard yards and compete against each other to make life a little bit easier tonight.
Listen, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund are not having a great relationship tonight out on the pitch. The captain of Manchester United asking so much from the number 9. He needs to do more in terms of challenging the Bilbao defenders, in terms of just putting himself around the pitch and doing the out of possession work. He's not helping his team by defending from the front.
Yeah, what tends to happen is you do the outer work possession and you do the graft there, and it creates more chances. So, but the plus for United, they've been in behind the back line of Bilbao on probably 2 or 3 occasions. One very good opportunity for Garnacho where he should have scored, or at least get an effort away on target.
We'll come back to Athletic Bilbao's performance in a second, but the half-time whistle has gone at Ashton Gate. Talksport's Lawrence Mora.
And it is Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1. Harrison Burrows from the penalty spot in added on time, as the game has swung massively to the visitors. It was goalless going into 5 minutes of added on time. Kiefer Moore broke through the back line. He was bearing down on goal. But then Rob Dickey, the Bristol City centre-half, wrapped himself around Moore, tried to get his foot on the ball, but brought Moore down. Referee had no hesitation, pointed to the spot, then brandishing the red card as well. Burrows did the rest from the spot. Before that, it had been pretty even Stevens, and both teams going close either end, an end-to-end match. Nothing cagey about this, but Bristol City, a man down and a goal down, have a mountain to climb. This game is live on the Talksport app. It's Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
Lawrence, thank you very much indeed. Stuart Pearce, for all the criticism of Manchester United, we have to praise Athletic Club tonight. Miko Haragitha curling in a lovely goal to give them hope in the tie. How much should they believe right now that they can do something incredibly special?
Well, I think they've had enough encouragement from those in the red shirts to suggest that if we get another one, this place will get very, very tetchy. No doubt about that. They've sort of dominated possession and areas and probably last third entries, but they failed to get a real clinical finish until the goal. Now all of a sudden it's give them hope.
Absolutely, it has. A massive second half here at Old Trafford, on the way very shortly on TalkSport. In the meantime, let's get the halftime odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus hacker lets you down. Pre-match straight line hackers only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Well, Manchester United still comfortably favourites to qualify. They're 1-50 on. For Athletic Bilbao to qualify now 12-1 with Ladbrokes. And for Bruno Fernandes to score at any time now 15-4. Those are latest odds with Ladbrokes. It's 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
So Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1 at the break in the Championship playoff semi-final. That's live for you on the Talksport app. In the Europa League, goalless between Bodo Glimt and Spurs. Manchester United trailing Athletic Bilbao by a 0-0. And in the Conference League, Chelsea 1-0 up, 5-1 up on aggregate against Djurgården. Fiorentina 2, Real Betis 1 on the night, level on aggregate at 3 apiece. You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you. At the moment, the Red Devils are on their way to Bilbao. At the break, live on Talksport, Manchester United 0, Athletic Club 1.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Little as 20 minutes. Only $4.99. Available exclusively on the Screwfix app. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Join Midnight Casino and discover a whole new world! With hot slots, jackpots, live casino roulette, and blackjack at the ready. Come and play your way. Get 100 free spins when you spend £20 on eligible games. Search Midnight Casino or download the Midnight app today. Midnight. Casino done better. You decide. New customers only. Reward restrictions and T&Cs apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Listeners, we interrupt the airwaves to share an incredible discovery. The reason why Britain hasn't been so great of late is because the country hasn't been eating enough Weetabix. We must get to work in rebuilding Great Britain, Bix by Bix. By delivering Weetabix to whoever plans the traffic diversions, to delivery drivers who can't seem to find your house, and people who don't stack the dishwasher properly. To Britain, we must say, have you had your Weetabix?
Let me just throw this idea at you. You may have paid too much tax. If you've spent money on tools, travel or food for work, Rift can help work out what you're owed and get a refund bouncing back to you. In fact, on average, Rift get their customers $3,000 back. Not bad, eh? Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds. I'm like a rubber ball, I come bouncing. Come on, search Rift Tax Refunds today.
Sport. It's in your DNA. And at SpreadX Sports, we want you to gamble responsibly. Set sportsbook deposit limits to help stay in control of your spending. Use our handy fixed odds timeout feature, which allows you to take a break when you need it. At SpreadX Sports, our safer gambling tools are designed to let you play within your limits and gamble responsibly. Visit spreadx.com/DNA. SpreadX Sports. It's in our DNA. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Hawksby and Jacobs on your side every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation, delivering cutting-edge comment, a catalogue of riveting guests, and drilled-down dialogue to power up your lunchtime. Plus, breaking news, views, and loads of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Hawksby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on Talksport with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
Europa League Live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday, at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Oh, what a finish!
The Europa League Live on Talksport.
Dwyer's giving it away here. Jallo, right-footed shot straight at Yoro. Now breaks on the edge of the area. It's a stunning goal. Haragifa, 25 yards out. He's pinged it into the top right-hand corner.
He got two hands to it and just flapped it into the corner. Might be being a bit harsh, potentially.
United fans listening at home or in the car or at work, how are your nerves? And United will be able to slip it forward. Big chance for Garnacho. And put it wide.
Well, Athletic Club have hope of doing what no team has ever done by winning by 3 goals away at Old Trafford in European competition. It's just 1 at the break, but if they can turn their dominance into a second goal, Old Trafford would be a very nervous place indeed. Still, though, as it stands, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur would be meeting in the European final of the Europa League. Of course, this game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, your home of European football. And remember, the sports bar open for business this evening. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant will be taking your calls, and the phone lines are already open. United fans, Spurs fans, Chelsea fans, get your calls in 03717 22 3344. That's the sports bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant after the final whistle here at Old Trafford, or out in Bodo Glimt. We will bring you extra time in that game, of course, if it reaches it here on Talksport. In the meantime, great live football for you on the Talksport app at the moment, as Sheffield United take a lead into the break away at Bristol City in the first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final. Tomorrow night, live and exclusive on Talksport, it will be Coventry against Sunderland. I'm with you, so is Jim, and former England striker Dean Ashton for that one. And on the weekend, we'll have the League One playoff semi-final first leg between Leyton Orient and Stockport on Talksport 2. That one's an exclusive from 12:30 in the afternoon. Following that, 3 o'clock, Fulham versus Everton in the Premier League, and Notts County against Wimbledon in the other League 2 playoff semi-final first leg. That is at 8 p.m. on Talksport 2. Game day live with Adrian Durham going around the grounds on Talksport at 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. And it's quite a bumper Sunday as well in the Premier League. Midday, we'll have exclusive commentary from St James's Park as Newcastle take on Chelsea in a massive game in terms of both teams' Champions League qualification hopes. We'll have the Sunday session with Adrian Durham this week, Perry Groves and Mickey Gray, all the goals as they go in. Premier League games, League 2 playoff, FA Vase final, FA Trophy final, Spurs playing Crystal Palace, Forest taking on Leicester, Manchester United hosting West Ham. We'll have 2 live and exclusive playoff games for you on Talksport 2, Chesterfield against Walsall at 3:30, and Wickham taking on Charlton in the League 1 playoffs at 6:30, Talksport 2 exclusive on Sunday. We have got you covered across the weekend as we get to the business end of the season. Manchester United's players coming out for the start of the second half. They need to turn on the business here tonight, or else it could be something rather remarkable. Stuart Pearce, Jim Proudfoot alongside me. Let's very quickly look ahead to the second half. In fact, let's very quickly look back on the goal. Because Stuart, you said something to me a few moments ago about Andre Onana in goal for Manchester United and whether he could have dealt better with the goal that he did concede.
Yeah, he's dived at full stretch and he's got both hands on the ball. I would quantify and turn around and say, if you go for it with one hand, you can get more of a stretch on your body. I think if he goes with either top or bottom hand, he gets a solid hand on that and may even keep it out. The fact that he's tried to go with 2 hands, I think the technique's slightly flawed.
The players from Manchester United have come out quite early here, so it's Bruno Fernandes having a stretch, having a chat with the referee. Still a couple of minutes really until we see the start of the half, or at least it should be. What do you think Ruben Amorim has been saying to his players at the break? He looks very perplexed down pitch side in front of us.
I think he's got to try and instill a little bit of confidence into this side. His side have demonstrated for 45 minutes that they're very low on confidence and they're contributing to their own problems. When you look at the goal again, Maguire's dealt with the ball, he's got it at his feet and he's played a pass that's give the ball away, and from that moment on it's encouraged the efforts at goal that have contributed to the goal. They've got to keep possession of the ball, they've got to starve Bilbao of the ball, but they've got to be more clinical with their passing, because all they're doing is encouraging the press all the time because they know there's a reward to it.
Ruben Amorim's had his hands in his pockets, head down, marching back and forth. Pitch side here tonight has not been a great advert for his coaching. Nonetheless, his side halfway towards a place in the Europa League final. The second half live on Talksport with former England defender Stuart Pearce and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
And it is Athletic Bilbao leading 1-0 on the night in all blue with white socks who get us underway. Kicking from left to right, United attacking the Stretford end in this second half. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks. No changes made by either manager as yet. Dorgu in possession in the left back position. Oh, he's caught Marouane. There was a genuine attempt to win the ball and he genuinely didn't win it. He's caught Marouane, kicked through him right into the shin, and it's a free kick which Athletic will take 5 yards in from the right-hand touchline and 20 yards adrift to the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. United with Onana in goal, Lindelof, Maguire and Yoro. Mazraoui, Casemiro, Ugarte and Dorgu. Garnacho and Fernandes and Højlund. And Athletic with Aguirre the Bala in goal, Gorosabal, Yeray Alvarez, Unai Nunez and Yuri, Ruiz de Galarreta and Jaureguizar the goal scorer, Jalot, Gomez and Berenguer, and Marouane, who's been really lively up front. Free kick, Berenguer taking it, it's really deep. Onana knew that he couldn't come and try and get to that. Yuri coming around the back, missed his kick really, and it's just drifted off him and gone out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Onana away to the right-hand side. 90 seconds gone in the second half. United 0, Athletic Bilbao 1. Here's Stuart Pearce on Talksport.
Yeah, Onana, goal kick now. United have decided not to play out from the back and just squeezed high and condensed play. Looking for seconds on this front.
Casemiro, Højlund, Dorgu, and Gorosabal will turn it forward. Maguire with a commanding header gets it away. Marouane making a run across him, preparing to show for a ball forward. Jaureguizar down towards Jalot, and he'll take on Dorgu. A couple of little step overs. Right-footed ball gets inside the penalty area, but that's knocked away by Yoro. And then Bruno Fernandes is wrestled to the ground there by Ruiz de Galarreta. And a free kick goes United's way. That one to concede really, as Athletic were in a position that they were applying some pressure and stopping United getting out. That's eased the tension.
Jim, Darth doesn't cover it, honestly. United have been giving possession away in their final third and mid-third regularly, and the last thing you do is get a break in play by dragging someone down. It really is.
This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And as things stand right now, we're just over 40 minutes away from being a Manchester United Tottenham Hotspur final in Bilbao on May the 21st. You just sense that this is a night that might have the odd twist and unforeseen turn yet. Dorgu to take a throw for United, level with the edge of the penalty area. Gets it back again. Can't deliver across, can find Casemiro. Play back by Lindelof to Lenny Yoro. Yoro driving it forward, chested down by Ugarte, flicked back into his path by Bruno Fernandes. And then there's a handball in there that will give Athletic a free kick about 5 or 6 yards outside their box. Well, these two met in the Europa League back in 2012. Athletic beat United home and away. They won 3-2 here, which obviously isn't a scoreline that's good enough for them tonight. They were the first European side ever to beat Manchester United in foreign competition. That was back in 1957 at the San Mamés. United winning that European Cup quarter-final 6-5 on aggregate. Their aggregate lead not quite as narrow as that right now, but it's 3-1 and it doesn't feel anything but fragile. Jalot with the ball inside the penalty area and Casemiro's got it away. Back out towards Jalot again. He's seen much more of it at the start of this second half. Ball in which Gomez made a run from the left wing and almost got on the end of. Comes back out to Ruiz de Galarreta. Gorosabal getting it back around the edge of the penalty area. Now Jalot on the overlap. Low ball in from him. Ugarte blocked that. Yoro's given a shove by Gomez. Dorgu can head it further away out of the penalty area to the touchline, where Fernandes has been easily beaten by Gorosabal. He plays a ball across the 6-yard box and Maguire stretches to knock it away. And the Athletic supporters away to our right-hand side wave their red and white scarves around their heads and hold them to the heavens, because they've been really encouraged by the high-intensity start that their side have made in this second half. Now they've got another throw down by the corner flag. And United again, as was the case for swathes of the first period, can't get out in their own final third. That was a poor throw, though. Dorgu can hook it clear. Bounces over Yeray Alvarez, who clears it over his shoulder straight into Højlund. Loose ball breaks Nunez's way. He can't find the teammate. Ugarte with a poor touch, and Berenguer tries his luck. That's blocked by Yoro. Gorosabal helping it on. Jalot, good turn, check back away from Bruno Fernandes, who's fouled it. It's right in front of the assistant referee, and it was he that gave it rather than the ref initially, and Jalot has won a free kick in a really good position on the right wing.
Yeah, they've struggled to find a decent cross into the box so far at Bilbao, and they've got a perfect opportunity here to toss one in and cause a big problem. United marking zonal across the 6-yard box, a bit of movement, maybe a pull back to the edge of the box might be fruitful.
Well, the crossing's been poor so far, but it's been notable that Jalot, whenever he's got into a position on the right-hand side, has looked pretty much exclusively to pull it back. So obviously, they reckon that third man runs inside the penalty area might be the undoing of United. What can they do for this free kick? Berenguer, he's got Garnacho as a one-man wall ahead of him. 6 zonal defenders on the edge of the 6-yard box. Poor delivery will find on the edge of the penalty area a man in a blue shirt, but on its way through, there was a push. And United have won a free kick for a foul, I think, on Garnacho.
Yeah, the only downside from the athletic performance so far is that they're giving free kicks away against the United side that are quite happy to give them the ball back without a free kick.
United are unbeaten in 17 Europa League ties at home in the knockout stages. Last side to beat them here in the knockout stage of a Europa League tie, Athletic Bilbao, back in 2012. 13 years on, are they going to be able to mastermind an extraordinary turnaround? They lead 1-0. They need to win by 3 within 90 minutes to take this to extra time. And United, remember, have never lost a home European tie by 3 or more goals. Dorgu taking a throw. Fernandes cushions a header back to him. Here's Harry Maguire inside the centre circle. You're with Talksport over on Talksport 2 right now. Spurs 0-0 in Norway against Werder Glimt, 3-1 up on aggregate. And Bristol City down to 10 men, trailing at home to Sheffield United 1-0 on the Talksport app. In the first leg of the Championship playoff semi-final, we've got another Championship playoff semi-final for you tomorrow. That's here on Talksport from the West Midlands, where Coventry are taking on Sunderland. And that's a 7 o'clock build-up for an 8 o'clock kickoff. Dean Ashton alongside me at the CBS tomorrow night. And Hugh in the chair for that. Much more live football coming up for you over the course of the weekend as well, including a game with real implications for the Champions League race. Newcastle against Chelsea, 12 o'clock, high noon Sunday. Some noise that those travelling Basques away to our right-hand side are making, urging their side on, full of belief. Anana taking the free kick over the head of Højlund. It's going to drift past everybody. Gorosabal, just make sure that's the case. They went shoulder to shoulder with Dorgu to stop him being able to play the ball. Goal kick taken quickly by Girith Babala. Out of the left-hand side for Yuri. Back from him to Unai Nunez inside his own penalty area. Uri Alvarez is showing for him. And he's got it on the right-hand side. Work forward towards Berenguer. Berenguer slipping it down the side of Maguire, who was able to block the first ball, but it only fell for Jalot, and then Gomez trying to get in. Mazraoui did really well, covered his run, came into a central position to get it away.
I'll tell you what, top play there. Bilbao cut through United, and Mazraoui, fantastic covering and just dealt with the danger.
It's a former England captain, Stuart Pearce, here on Talksport. Manchester United trailing 1-0. Dusky skies here at Old Trafford, seemingly just adding to the tension if that were possible. Here's Gorosabal. Gorosabal playing it back for his centre-half. Uri Alvarez getting it forward. It's a good ball down the right-hand touchline. First time delivery from Berenguer, hits Yoro. Goes out of play for a throw. Haven't had a corner in this game as yet. We're 10 minutes into the second half. And Berenguer is going to leave the throw for Gorosabal to take. He is. So Gorosabal retrieves it from right in front of a cameraman on this near side. From left to right towards the old scoreboard end here at Old Trafford. Jalot has got away from Yoro, And then Dorgu clears and puts it out for that first corner of the night. 2 Athletic score from this, and they're back within 1.
Well, Valverde's team travelled to England probably thinking this is dead and buried, but he'll be very proud of his team. I don't think they'll have enough to turn this deficit round, but certainly they're having a go.
Berenguer takes the corner. Up go the heads on the edge of the penalty area. It's a right-footed volley after the initial header from Yere Alvarez, and United poke it away. Ruiz de Galarreta runs round it. Still inside United territory. Driven forward. Marouane. Dorgu with a defensive header that fell on the edge of the D for a moment and almost came Haraguifa's way. That's cleared. Berenguer taking a throw. He's been excellent tonight.
He certainly has. He's been integral to absolutely everything.
He's got it again with a lovely ball slip forward towards Jalot. Jalot through the penalty area, and Lindelof is there to knock it away. Headed on again. Jalot going up for it. He's gone down. No foul by Yoro. Then cleared by Ugarte, but not very well. Right-footed effort comes in from Ruiz de Galarreta. Spins away via a deflection. At the play for another Athletic Bilbao corner here on Talksport.
It's just relentless. It's wave after wave, and then all of a sudden United get the ball back, have an opportunity to quell this blue tide, and they give the ball back straight back to them.
Berenguer playing his 400th career game, taking the corner short, getting the return ball, and then winning another one. No, he hasn't. I thought that had just taken a deflection off Fernandes. It hasn't. He's hit a swift cross in that's gone under the roof of the net and gone out of play for a goal kick. He's been around the block a little bit. He was at Osasuna, he was at Torino, but he's really made his home. Real Sociedad, more than half of the 400 games he's played in it with, with Athletic Bilbao. More than half of the 400 games he's played in his career have come for Athletic, but he has been really, really good tonight. Ahmad's going to be coming on for Manchester United. Wouldn't surprise me if it was more than one change that Ruben Amorim was about to make. Bruno Fernandes has got it on the left-hand touchline, slipped forward by him, and then Casemiro in strongly. That's a foul. Play goes on there. Haraguifa helping it forward. Mazraoui and Lindelof between them, able to mop up and work it back to the goalkeeper Amana, who will clear and get it out towards the right-hand side for United. And is he now going to book Casemiro? He is. He can't have any complaints. He is complaining, but there were no complaints. There was a poor challenge from Casemiro that's earned him the yellow card from about 45 seconds ago. The 6th caution of the season, and he becomes the second United player to have his name taken tonight.
Yeah, I think they've reached for the changes. To be fair, there could be a multitude of players that could come off. I think there's 3 players look as though they are, and this can only improve it. I don't think it can make it worse from United's point of view. Amorim must just be scratching his head, to be quite honest with you. The lacklustre performance of a lot of these players, the inability to keep the ball for a succession of passes.
Well, we're going to see Mount, Shaw and Ahmad. And we're also going to see Prados come on for Athletic Bilbao. They'll actually be making a double change because Oscar de Marcos, who scored here in that win for Athletic back in 2012, is going to be coming on as well. The winger who's turned into a right back these days has taken off inside the first half for a tactical change the other day. And in fact, they're going to be making a triple change as well, Athletic, who are 1 up on the night, 3-1 down on aggregate. Well, they've given themselves a really half-decent chance, only a half-decent chance at the moment. Berenguer, another goal, and the cat's amongst the proverbial. Ugarte getting in the way, inside his own penalty area, out for another throw. Can't remember the last decent passage of play United had in Athletic Bilbao territory. Might even have been the first half. Haraguifa, the goal scorer, trying to find a way through. He can't. Ugarte can get it away, and then he's given it away. And the crowd are beside themselves. Berenguer winning it back. Played out to the left-hand side. Chance for Yuri to deliver. It's found a blue shirt in the penalty area, Jalot. It travelled a long way to meet him, and he just reached out for the ball that fell behind him and skied a left-footed effort. It was a really poor attempt, but poor marking as well. So, a multitude of changes are going to be made. It gives us a good opportunity to find out what's going on elsewhere. First of all, how are Tottenham getting on? Jeff Peters.
It's still goalless in Norway, so they still have that 2-goal cushion on aggregate. We've just had the first shot in the second half. Nothing on target since the restart. Bodo Glimt 0, Spurs 0, 3-1 to Spurs on aggregate.
And next to Stamford Bridge, Ian Abrahams.
Chelsea 1, your Gordon 0, still 5-1 to Chelsea in aggregate. Should have been 2 a second or two ago. Tyreek George from a yard out headed wide, spared his blushes by an offside flag. Chelsea 1, your Gordon 0, 5-1 on aggregate to the Blues.
And finally to Ashton Gate, Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1. Bristol City down to 10 men. They've made 2 changes. Roberts is on and Sinclair Armstrong is on up front. Sheffield United now dominating the possession. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
Thank you, guys. A reminder, those games live for you on the Talksport network right now. And Bodo Glimt Spurs game is on Talksport 2. Bristol City against Sheffield United on the Talksport app, the new and improved Talksport app. So much content on there, and you can see plenty of clips catch up on what's happened while you've been at work. That's all on the Talksport app for you right now. So the changes for United: Mazraoui, Garnacho and Ugarte off. Mount, Shaw and Ahmad, the players that have come on to replace them. Luke Shaw playing at left wing back, so Dorgu's gone out to the right hand side. And Athletic have brought on Prados, Olabarrieta, and DeMarcos. And Ruth de Galarreta, Gorosabel and Jalot are the players that have been replaced. What are your thoughts, Stuart, on that Manchester United triple change?
Well, I thought certainly, let's start with Garnacho. I thought he's very, very ineffective, and aside from that, if you're dealing on scraps, you've got to do a defensive shift for your team, and I don't think he's done that tonight. I think these 3 changes can only but help the team. I hope I'm not proved wrong in that statement, but...
Well, here's Ahmad trying to prove you right, and he's inside the penalty area. His ball is well blocked. There was Nunez that got in the way. Berenguer. Bruno Fernandes winning it back for United, who are still trailing by Golden Nil on the night, but still with a 2-goal aggregate lead here at a nervy Old Trafford. Interesting that Athletic have essentially changed the entire right-hand side of their team, and here's the teenage substitute, Olabarrieta, trying to make his way forward. He's only 19, he's a right winger. He's going to be given plenty of license to come in off that right-hand side. Very tall, upright running style, stick thin, with a mop of dark hair. And he's made his way towards the corner of the penalty area as Athletic win a free kick for a foul on Unai Gomez. 64 gone. Manchester United 0, Athletic Bilbao 1.
I think the one good thing United have done, when the ball's gone into wide areas, they've managed to defend, and it's been a numbers game.
In goes a header through the 6-yard box, and Onana watches it wide. Well, I think he sensed that was going to go well wide. But Unai Nunez's header bounced, and the spin from the bounce brought it back in towards the far post. It's still drifting past it, but I don't think that was the formality he thought it was.
Well, to be quite honest with you, Jim, we're right behind that header, and that was a lot closer than Onana probably give it credit for.
Deadlock is broken in Norway. Here's Jeff Peters.
It's Bodo Glimt 0, Tottenham 1, 4-1 on aggregate now. Dominic Solanke from close range. Tell on a sub with the corner, headed goalwards by Romero, and then Solanke, just a couple of yards out, has poked it home. Spurs surely going through to the final. They're 4-1 up on aggregate.
Well, I think the narrative before the ball was kicked today was that it might be quite difficult for Tottenham, that particular fixture, and United only had to turn up to win. As it is, it's the other way round, seemingly. United making a meal of this. Shaw on as a calming influence amongst other things. Let's just let the ball run out of play, and it will be a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United left. Athletic are also going to be bringing Guruzzetta on, who's a striker. He hasn't scored in his last 13 games. He's only got one in Europe this season, which came against Elfsborg. Is it going to be a straight swap for Marouane, or are they going to go 2 up? You can imagine the way that Marouane has played, the problems that he's caused, that he'll be the latter, that they're just going to supplement him rather than replace him.
He's arguably been their best player, Jim, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be taking him off, that is for sure.
Valverde getting to the stage where he's got to gamble. Here's Dorgu over on the Manchester United right now, but the ball has bounced on the touchline and then gone over it before he's brought it under control, so it is a throw. You're with Talksport, and it's 1-0 to Athletic Bilbao, and it's Gomez who is going to be coming off. So Gomez off, and Guruzzetta is on to replace him. So he could play at 10, but he could play up alongside Marouane. At the moment he's playing in a slightly, only very slightly more withdrawn role. Opportunity for Athletic to bring it forward again. Maguire can head the ball down on halfway. Finds Bruno Fernandes. Roll forward. Ahmad, nice touch. Højlund just dallied in possession. Crowd quick to let him know. Uri Alvarez was there. Strong defending, winning it back. Play forward towards Marouane. Guruzzetta, the substitute, making his way through the middle. But Marouane has stumbled as Lindelof came across to make a challenge. He's then given it away, and Onana deliberately dives inside a long-range effort from Olabarrieta, which goes wide. We're midway through the second half, and it is still incredibly panic-stricken from Manchester United.
It certainly is. And if I was hammering now, I'd have to bring Højlund off. I really would, and just play with no centre forward, fill the midfield up, because he's not retaining anything at the front end of the team. Really, really disappointing. And once again, United have not played one goal kick short in this second half. They've just kicked everything long. They said, we can't keep possession of the ball, so there's no point even trying to play out from the back.
You're listening to Manchester United against Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning a clear out? Well, with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Break in play because of an injury to Prados, who's back on his feet and is able to continue. 68 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Athletic 1. And Onana has spotted the ball down on the edge of the 6-yard box and now is given the signal to restart play. Drives it forward, headed on by Casemiro. Ahmad trying to make life difficult and is able to succeed to an extent. He brought the ball down. It was then cleared from in front of him. Headed on again by Mason Mount. Fernandes trying to work the ball over the top. That one easily cleared as well by DeMarcos. Dorgu, Yoro, now played forward by Bruno Fernandes. Out of the left-hand side for Luke Shaw, and Uri Alvarez clears. Fernandes letting it run. Yoro's got it. Dorgu still down, incidentally, after an earlier challenge on him. Yoro on the edge of the penalty area. Vantage played. He's forced Ahmad much wider than he needed to. But Ahmad's still got it. Play back again towards Lenny Yoro inside the box. Fernandes with a right-footed effort that's blocked right on the edge of the penalty area. And the ricochet spins it away for a United throw. The bar isn't high, but that is much their best move of the second half.
Yeah, it certainly was. There was a foul on the edge of the box. Højlund held it up well on that occasion. He was fouled in the process. Referee played on. I don't think the advantage was in playing on. It was in such a good position.
It certainly was no advantage when you consider how poor the pass had been from Lenny Yoro. Shaw taking the throw down towards the corner flag for Manchester United. As we go into the final 20 minutes, it's cleared. Back over the top from Lenny Yoro and volleyed away on the edge of the box once more. Oh, Lindelof completely misjudging it. And then being able to get back goal side of Marouane to win it back. Let's go back to Ashton Gate. Here's Talksport's Lawrence Morrow.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1, 66 on the clock, and 10-man Bristol City are under the cosh. A double change for Sheffield United. O'Hare and Brooks are being brought on. The visitors now dominating possession and trying to get that vital second goal. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
Here's Bruno Fernandes bringing it forward here for Manchester United. Mount one side of him, Luke Shaw to his left. Shaw clipping it back inside the penalty area, and Athletic clear. Another goal for Tottenham. Jeff Peters.
Tottenham are surely heading now to the Europa League final. They lead 2-0 on the night and 5-1 on aggregate. An extraordinary goal by Pedro Porro, adding to the strike by Dominic Solanke. And Spurs are off to Spain. It's Bodo Glimt 0, Spurs 2, 5-2 on aggregate.
And Manchester United are off to Spain as well. Mason Mount with a goal that might just kickstart his Manchester United career. Euro playing it back to him. Mount taking it on the turn, firing it into the bottom right-hand corner. They have not played well at all, but they just needed a moment, and Mason Mount has provided it. Manchester United 1, Athletic 1, and they've got a 3-goal aggregate lead with only 18 minutes to go. Bring on the Europa League final at Tottenham.
Well, the relief around this place is there for all to see. It's the first time that United in this second half has sustained anything like territory or pressure. And Euro done well, advanced with the ball, shoved it into Mount's feet, and he cushioned it round the corner, opened the goal up and fed it into the far corner. And the substitutes certainly have had their impact.
Massive moment for Mason Mount, whose last goal in Europe was in a Champions League quarter-final at the Bernabeu. It's only his third goal since his big money move from Chelsea, but it provides the passport to a European final. Really angry reaction from the Bilbao players, because they'd had a player down injured. I think it's Prados. And the general perception was that play should have stopped, that he was fouled, but it continued, and Mount's goal has surely done it for Manchester United. Shaw will be able to clear. Athletic bring it back with DeMarcos. Casemiro played round easily. Yuri Alvarez out towards the right back, Ola Barrieta. And it's gone out of play for a throw. And only now, 73 minutes into the game, do United fans sing their songs with conviction. DeMarcos with a little nutmeg, and the ball slid across the edge of the 6-yard box and fired wide by Guruzzetta. And they could have been back ahead straight away. Arguably should have been, but it remains 1-1.
Well, fantastic play on this right-hand side, and he slid it across the face of goal. And the ball just flew past United's post. And the reaction now, the Bilbao fans have quietened up, but the United fans are singing.
Hoyland going up for it, wins it. Athletic win it back. Play forward towards Marouane. Lenny Yoro side putting it forward through the midfield. Nice touch from Ahmad. He's made a difference since coming on. Patrick Dorgu threading it back into his path. Ahmad will take it on down the right-hand touchline. Vesca, incidentally, the player that came on for the injured Prados for Athletic, and that is their final change. Mount puts the ball out of play. It's a throw to Athletic. 15 minutes for Manchester United to withstand the pressure. They can allow Athletic to score twice from here and still go through.
Yeah, Athletic probably have failed to, with the territory they've had, they failed to really create too many open chances, and that eventually has become costly for them. Cauldron
of noise here at Old Trafford, and that provided by the travelling supporters only finally now being drowned out. Night has fallen in Manchester, and it looks as though the curtain has fallen on Athletics' run in Europe. Twice runners-up in European competition. They've won both of their previous European semi-finals. They're not going to be winning this one. Spurs as good as through. Manchester United as good as through. What are you doing a week Wednesday? Listen to the Europa League final live with us here on Talksport. Lenny Yoro playing the ball back for Harry Maguire. Maguire controlling it, going back for Victor Lindelof. Lindelof inside his own half, takes it towards the edge of the centre circle. Another goal at Ashton Gate. Lawrence Moura.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 2. Off the bench, Andre Brooks has fired this left-footed low and hard, and it's squirmed under Max O'Leary into the back of the net. They've doubled their lead against 10 Man City. It's Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 2.
Well, they won 2-1 at Ashton Gate back in November. The Blades 2-0 up there in May. Second leg of that one live on Talksport on Monday night. That's tomorrow night, the other semi-final first leg. Coventry at home to Sunderland here on Talksport. Second leg of that one's on Tuesday, and we've got every League One and League Two playoff game for you as well. Lindelof with a poor defensive header. Marouane trying his luck from the edge of the D. That one easily blocked by Yoro. Dorgu's going to be able to bring it away. 13 minutes to go, 1-1 on the night somehow. And it's a 3-goal aggregate lead for Manchester United, a 4-goal aggregate lead for Spurs. Here's Berenguer though. Mounting really strongly, one number 7 on the other, he's won it back. Berenguer writhing in pain towards the edge of the penalty area. Play goes on. Casemiro brings it away. Finds the Manchester United goal scorer Mount. Little 1-2 between him and Fernandes. Mount drops his shoulder and is able to take it on. Plays it out towards the right-hand side for Patrick Dorgu. Hoyler waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Makes his way in now. Fernandes has got it. Tries to roll it in. There's a coming together inside the box off the ball. Nothing given. VAR will be having a look at it. Daniel Siebert, I don't know that there's a case to answer. I haven't seen a replay. Ahmad loses out then over on the far touchline to DeMarcos. And it should be easily cleared before a free kick is given United's way for a foul on Bruno near the corner of the box, and a yellow card is shown. 12 minutes to go, and the whole dynamic of the tie has changed, and it's swung irrevocably Manchester United's way.
Yeah, even with a 2-goal deficit as we stood, you always felt as though Athletic Club had a chance, but with that Mason Mount finish, you think United are in the final, and the game has become a little bit scrappy since then.
And it's the Manchester United's benefit that is the case. Unai Nunez has been booked. Berenguer has had a yellow card, arguing the toss. We're going to see Kobbie Mainoo coming on for Manchester United very shortly. But United now with a semblance of control about this fixture on the night, and certainly with complete control about the tie at large. Harry Amas is also going to be coming on. 11 to go, 1-1, 4-1 to United on aggregate here on Talksport. Free kick, ping towards the edge of the 6-yard box, in! Casemiro! Great ball in towards that near post, and he made a run across the corner of the 6-yard box, flicked his head to it, and Manchester United have turned it around on the night. That is that. United 2, Athletic Bilbao 1. Book the flights, book the hotels. They're going to Bilbao.
Yeah, they certainly are. Fantastic finish. Great ball in. Casemiro making out he had no interest at all. Just darted to the near post. Wasn't picked up. And a deft header has put this tie way beyond Bilbao.
How quickly things can change. Mason Mount on 72, Casemiro on 80. Near post header to score, as there was last week in the first leg. He's done it again. United make a change immediately. Lindelof is off, and Harry Amas is on. left wing-back who started his last 3 Premier League games, coming on for only his 2nd European appearance. So it's going to necessitate just a little bit of a defensive reshuffle. And Casemiro's going to come off to be replaced by Kobbie Mainoo. And before this tie, he'd never scored a goal in the Europa League. Now he's scored in each leg. And Casemiro will leave the field as tonight's match winner. United 2, Athletic 1 with 10 to go.
It's been an interesting one. United are going to a major European final in about 10 days' time, and it doesn't tell half the story, does it? It really doesn't. You know, they've been so inept tonight for long periods of the game with a 3-0 lead to cushion the blow. They've not managed to dominate the game in any way, shape or form. But they won't care about that. They're on the way to a final.
Bodo Glimt 0, Tottenham 2. Manchester United 2, Athletic Bilbao 1. Chelsea 1, Gordon 0. 3 English clubs about to book safe passage through to their European finals. So let's check in actually with Ian Abrahams at Stamford Bridge. A formality, Moose.
Absolutely. Chelsea 1, Gordon 0. This has been done probably since the first leg, midway through that, but certainly tonight thanks to Dewsbury Hall's goal. We've got 6 minutes to go here, Jim. Chelsea 1, Gordon 0. 5-1 on aggregate to the Blues.
But who will they be playing? Because it's still Fiorentina 2, Betis 1 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate in Italy. They've got 11 to go there. So still time for either side to win it before it goes to extra time. Here, we've got 8 minutes to go. 2-1 Manchester United lead. The ball is over on the United right. Mason Mount playing it forward. Athletic on the edge of their own penalty area, going to be able to knock it away. And here's DeMarcos, who very swiftly turns back inside, checking away from Højlund, flicking it through the midfield, and then played by the substitute Vesca back out to the left-hand side. Another goal at Ashton Gate. Bristol City pretty much out of the playoffs already, Lawrence.
Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 3, and this time Callum O'Hare has tapped it home from close range. Bristol City really under the cosh. Wild celebrations in the away end. Surely 1 foot at Wembley right now for Sheffield United. 79 gone. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 3.
Wild celebrations in the away leg. Wilder celebrations in the dugout. 3-0 to Sheffield United. And that's still the formality of the second leg to come. That's a lovely piece of skill from Hamad, who's turned his man beautifully, and he's got 3 options to his left-hand side. One of them is Mount. Clever touch from him. Harry Amas turning inside the penalty area, can't get a shot away. Plays it back for Mount. Mount to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo 10 yards outside the penalty area. Now Luke Shaw. And United maintain possession and work it all the way back from Amas down towards Maguire. Still United have it. Shaw to Mainoo. The Ole's coming out now. Now for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes clipping it wide. Patrick Dorgu coming onto it inside the penalty area. Left-footed dribbler from him. And it's easily picked up by the goalkeeper, Gareth Babala.
Well, United doing now what they should have been doing from the first moment, playing with confidence, swagger, keeping possession of the ball. But it took them 5 goals into the opposition's net to find this confidence.
Yep, 5-1 the aggregate score, and as you said a couple of minutes ago, it doesn't even begin to tell the story. I mean, they were sensational in that first leg last week. They were bang average at best for 65 minutes tonight. But it's cup football. It's all about who's in the final, and it will be Manchester United. And over the 2 legs as a whole, no doubt that they deserve their place in Bilbao. Yoro out towards Dorgu. Dorgu coming towards the edge of the penalty area, slipping it to his right hand side for Rama, gets to the byline, and he's bundled in by Højlund for 3. And that really is the icing on the cake. Rasmus Højlund with his 10th goal of the season, and that sets the seal on it. Little flick from 2 yards out, he could not miss. And United, 3 goals last week, 3 late tonight, and they are in the final.
Yeah, and made a real difference since he's come on the pitch. He's full of energy, full of beans, and he's created that goal for the tap-in for Højlund, who was in the right place at the right time. And his impact, and obviously the first goal from Mount, has really changed this game.
3 goals in 13 minutes for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim can see the bigger picture of a poor performance tonight, and he's still sitting almost ashen-faced on his seat at the front of the technical area for Manchester United, because he knows that they've properly got away with one here this evening.
Yeah, very much so. As I say, he's played against a team who haven't been particularly good, who've got a lot of their big stars out, and it's shown. They've a lot of endeavour, but failed to create probably the chances that their plays deserved and their endeavours deserved. But the bottom line is, I think as a coach and a manager, you see the bigger picture. He'll be delighted to get to the final. He'll be saying to himself, how do we win the final playing like this?
Maguire clearing the ball out to the far touchline. 3.5 minutes to go. Manchester United 3, Athletic 1. The songs are songs of delight, songs of elation, songs of victory. But I promise you, they're songs of relief as well. This could have unfolded so differently tonight. You're listening to Manchester United against Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs, with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months. On my way home tonight, I'm going to be listening to the Sports Bar. It's going to make for some very interesting listening. United fans dissecting this. It's a performance that in some ways has been a microcosm of the season. It's Jermaine Pennant who's on with Jamie O'Hara tonight on the Sports Bar. You can book your calls now. 08717 22 33 44. Get you the opportunity to have your say on national radio. Not just United fans, of course, Spurs fans as well, who've denied the naysayers with a comfortable win in Norway tonight. We're on the verge of being a comfortable win. They're 2-0 up. Chelsea fans, another European final for you. And Sheffield United already probably looking ahead to a trip to Wembley for a championship playoff final. Bristol City supporters will be so disappointed with how things have unfolded in the West Country tonight. Bilbao fans still cheering their side on. They've still got plenty to play for this season. 5 league games left. And they need a top 4 finish to be playing Champions League football next season. They're currently 4th. They have an opportunity to have their highest league finish for a bit. Bruno Fernandes has skimmed the ball away here, but Marouane has fouled him just as he dispensed with the ball. It was a poor pass. Marouane caught him late and has got a yellow card as a result of that.
Discipline's gone here in the Athletic side. They know the game's beyond them.
Maguire finding Luke Shaw. Shaw back for Harry Maguire again. European run that has another poor challenge comes in, that time on Maguire from Guruzzeta. And that's going to be a free kick. No yellow card this time though, but it is a European run that has had some extraordinary moments. That Lyon fight back here, but at times tonight Manchester United must have feared was going to be replicated. But United got over the line with 2 very late goals in extra time then. Didn't leave it as late tonight, but have come from an arguably worse performance at times. 3 goals in 13 minutes. And has got the job done. Mason Mount is in possession. He's played it to his left-hand side for Harry Amas. We're about to go into stoppage time at the end of the game. And United are 6-1 up on aggregate. Great play by Mainu. Mainu clipping it to his right-hand side, couldn't find Fernandez. Only 2 minutes to play. And Patrick Dorgu starts those 2 minutes by earning a yellow card. It was a poor challenge. United just have to make sure that they don't lose their discipline and see anyone sent off in the late stages here. Dorgu yellow card, and Masraoui and Casemiro, who are also on yellow cards, are both off now, so it's unlikely to happen. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Athletic on halfway. 90 seconds to go. Olabarrieta back towards the edge of the centre circle. Aragifa, whose goal in the first half tonight just threatened for a moment to embarrass Manchester United. Amas playing it forward, but the goalkeeper is out sweeping up again, and now he's off his line. Mounts! Oh, it is brilliant! What a way to seal it! He's pinged it in from 50 yards. Goalkeeper came out and cleared up, but he just siphoned it to Mason Mount, who took a touch, looked up, saw the goalkeeper was nowhere to be seen, and he's just clipped it past him from 52 yards. Manchester United 4, Athletic 1, and only now does Ruben Amorim allow himself a smile. Tonight maybe the Mason Mount's Manchester United career has really kicked off. It's the night that Manchester United has survived the scare to get through to the final at the San Mamés.
Well, wonderful finish there. Goalkeeper scuffed one, come to Mason Mount. He's dragged it down with his right foot, dispatched it with his left foot, and it was never in doubt. Before it hit the back of the net, he turned, faced his manager, and just pumped his arms in the air. And quite an incredible result. If I hadn't seen it myself with my own eyes, I wouldn't have probably believed how this game has gone. Probably an indicator, Jim, the fact of in this second half United have not played one goal kick or free kick in their box short. They've just booted everything on.
Full-time whistle goes. Bilbao beaten. Bring on Bilbao. Manchester United are through and will be playing Tottenham in the Europa League final on the 21st of May, a week Wednesday, an all-English clash at the San Mamés, where two clubs of the league and with their league form this season have the chance for European silverware and an unlikely place in next season's Champions League. How different this might have been, but 4 goals in the last 20 minutes have got Manchester United over the line when they were almost teetering. They were flirting with embarrassment, but they've got it done. 2 from Mount, 1 of them from nearly on halfway. Casemiro and Højlund scoring as well. United 4, Athletic Club 1, 7-1 on aggregate. Nothing like as comfortable as that sounds, but the result is all that matters, and Manchester United are in the Europa League final.
Old Trafford is once again turning into the theatre of dreams. European nights under the lights have taken on a new complexion under Ruben Amorim. No, the football hasn't been great. The results are the only thing that matters, and Manchester United are off to a European final. That's the heritage of this football club. That's what they're expected to do. And now they're expected to deliver the trophy. 90 minutes away from a place in next season's Champions League. Their most painful season ever might yet end with silverware, and it would give Ruben Amorim maybe the platform to save what was a sinking ship. Unbelievable atmosphere here, provided not just by the home fans, but for the thousands of Athletic Club supporters who've travelled from the Basque Country. They can be proud of their players this evening. It will be an all-Premier League affair in the Europa League final. Tottenham Hotspur continue their hunt for a first trophy in 17 years. It would be a first European trophy in 41 years. And for Manchester United and Spurs, without doubt the biggest game in their recent histories. For one, salvation, for the other, damnation. A Date with Destiny in the San Mamés Bilbao, Wednesday, the 21st of May, live here on Talksport. Sports Bar coming shortly, 03717 22 33 44. 3 English clubs in European finals. Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant with you shortly. Get your calls in, 03717 22 33 44.